Hello there, Lunar Squadron. Welcome back to the channel. Now, we have known for quite some time now that TT Games is working on a brand new game, and last week, Andy Greer, a senior recruiter at TT Games, put out this tweet where he detailed many various roles that are available at TT Games that they are hiring for, and they were quite interesting to say the least. So, it got Andreas and I thinking, what should be the next great LEGO game out of TT Games? So, we're going to go ahead, sit down, and figure that out right now. Please stand by for a word from our official sponsor.
But first, if you're having trouble skinning Wookiees alive, look no further than our sponsor, Bosk.
Be glad it is I, not Fet or Dengar, who found you.
Thanks, Bosk. Now let's get into the video. Upon release of LEGO Star Wars The Skywalker Saga, hopefully in the spring of 2022, it is quite clear that TT Games can go in multiple different directions when it comes to the next LEGO game. Perhaps they could make a new LEGO Batman game, or perhaps they could make a new LEGO Marvel Avengers game, or another LEGO Harry Potter game. The opportunities are endless. However, that is not the direction we think they should go, is it, Andreas?
Yeah, I think honestly there is one good answer. There is one right answer to this question. What game should TT Games tackle next? Nick and I both are in agreement of this, and it's not that we're biased, except for the fact that we might be a little biased. But
we're very biased.
We're
100%
very
biased.
TT Games, we think, have an obligation to hit out of the park a LEGO Indiana Jones game. Now, here's why. If you guys recall, the first LEGO Indiana Jones game was an absolute hit. It's ranked among some of the best LEGO games to date. However, LEGO Indiana Jones 2, not as favorable among the fan base, LEGO fan base and Indiana Jones fan base. For whatever reason, they took a little bit too much creative liberty with that story. It's just not that great of a game. It had its bright sides to it, but for the most part, it was kind of a defeated game. And now we are seeing a renaissance of Indiana Jones, aren't we, this coming year, Nick?
Yeah, this really is the last window, most likely, for Indiana Jones. We have Machine Games working on a brand new Indiana Jones game, and we have, hopefully, the last Indiana Jones film set to release on July 29th of 2022. So now really is the last chance that TT Games has to take advantage of this window and make a brand new LEGO Indiana Jones game. They can always make a LEGO Batman game. They can always make a LEGO Marvel game. There will never not be a time for that. But the time is now, right now, for there to be a brand new LEGO Indiana Jones game, different from any of the previous ones, just like the brand new LEGO Star Wars The Skywalker Saga. So we want to just kind of detail some of our ideas for this brand new LEGO Indiana Jones game. Go for it, Andreas.
Yeah, so just like you mentioned, I kind of want this ideally to represent and flex what TT Games has been building over the past few years. A lot of you guys, rightfully so, have been frustrated with how long it's taken them to stand up LEGO Star Wars The Skywalker Saga. However, there are some benefits to this. Once TT Games has finally hammered out this scale of a game, once they've hammered out this third-person open-world engine that they're working on, they can now take that engine to new IP and hopefully get those games stood up much quicker than it took them to finish LEGO Star Wars The Skywalker Saga. That, and they're much more experienced and weathered making a game of that size. So, what we would propose for LEGO Indiana Jones is a game that truly is intercontinental, just like Indiana Jones is. It would be a game, Nick and I have kind of hammered out a lot of details on this game. If you wanted to see our concept as to how we would make this game, from the details all the way down to our perspective hub design, to different ways to level up your plane with Jock Lindsay, or how to collect artifacts throughout the different continents, we'd love to make a video outlining all of that. But for right now, our ideal game is one where you would start off at Marshall College, which is where Indiana Jones is a professor, and the whole game would be you running around doing research at the college, but also running around from continent to continent collecting artifacts, and we all know they belong in a museum.
That belongs in a museum!
So they would end up back at the museum at Marshall College, where you would ultimately try to reach 100% progress and fill out that museum, all the while having great adventures throughout the world. It just sounds like a great time. I get so excited whenever I think about it.
Yeah, you've been talking about this for months. I really think that the features that they have developed and are utilizing in LEGO Star Wars: The Skywalker Saga would be perfect in an Indiana Jones game. Just imagine an open world, globe-trotting, create your own adventure Indiana Jones game. Now, if you think back to the previous Indiana Jones games, just like the previous LEGO Star Wars games, they're very linear. You just relive the films. What we are proposing is that the film artifacts are in the game, that you can still go out and get those, but we would also like to see brand new, never-before-seen artifacts. We want a very, I would say, a hybrid between the original Indiana Jones artifacts and brand new artifacts mixed together in this globe-trotting, continent-to-continent, create-your-own-adventure Indiana Jones game. Think about the galaxy map in LEGO Star Wars: The Skywalker Saga. This is clearly something that they are capable of doing. They no longer need a hub world and a linear storyline. So, like we said, we think the time is now. I know the time is now for a brand new LEGO Indiana Jones game. That needs to be the next LEGO game out of TT Games, because it would be fantastic if they got it right.
Yeah, not only would this game give us all an insight to corners of the world that we've never seen Indiana Jones in, it would also give us more insight into some of the incidental artifacts that appear in movies such as the Temple of Doom, just like Nurhachi's ashes. How did Indiana Jones get Nurhachi? Maybe in order to unlock the Temple of Doom arc, you would have to first find Nurhachi. What if you could snag the Peacock's eye before it got into the Club Obi-Wan? What if you could just go have some drinks at Club Obi-Wan? I don't know. There are just so many things that you could do with this game. It's not like we've thought through them at all or talked through them for hours or anything. But just like Nick said, now is the time to honor Harrison Ford while he is still with us, to honor the Indiana Jones brand while it is in an upswing, and for TT Games to avenge their, I don't want to call it a failure, but their hiccup with the last Indiana Jones game, and end this IP with a bang, with a brand new open world Indiana Jones game that just knocks the socks off of any LEGO game to date. That should be their goal. How do we make the best LEGO game to date? And there's a lot of room to do that with LEGO Indiana Jones.
And if you think about it, it's kind of time for a new LEGO Indiana Jones games. All of the other IPs have gotten their due. Like, it is time for LEGO Indiana Jones. That really is the last IP that hasn't gotten anything new. LEGO Star Wars is getting a new game. LEGO Marvel has gotten a ton of games. LEGO Batman has gotten a ton of games. Like, it is Indiana Jones' turn. It has been well over a decade. The time is now. Let's do this.
Yeah. So let us all know in the comments down below what LEGO game you would all like to see. Let us know if you'd be excited for a LEGO Indiana Jones. There's only one right answer to it. If you are looking forward to a LEGO Indiana Jones, subscribe to the channel. We're your people. Let's raise, a subscriber base of people who just will this game into existence, because it needs to happen. I need to get my hands on this game. That's gonna do it for this discussion, and as always, we will see you all next time.